What's up everyone, welcome to Sabrina Talks. I'm Sabrina if you're new. If you're not, welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for joining me. You can follow me on social media at Sabrina Talks 2 on Instagram and Twitter, and then you can follow me on TikTok at Sabrina Talks 2U. So follow me there, see what I'm all about. Also, I suggest you subscribe to my channel because I make some great things. I talk about music a lot. I also talk about entertainment related things. So if that sounds like something that you like, well, I suggest you hit that little subscribe button down below. Now today on Sabrina Talks, we are going to be doing another album review, and this time we are going to be doing Sam Smith's third studio album, which is called Love Goes. Love Goes was released on October 30th, 2020, the same day as Ariana Grande's Positions, and along with a bunch of other music that happened to come out that day. This album was definitely supposed to come out earlier this year, but with the pandemic and then just all kinds of things going on, Sam decided to push back this album until later in the year. Now, from what I've read, this album was originally, like I said, supposed to come out earlier this year, but it was also supposed to be under a whole different title. It was supposed to be called To Die For, but Sam decided that since, you know, people was kind of dying with this pandemic going on, they didn't want to be insensitive to their fans, so they decided to change the title to Love Goes. Now this album has technically 11 songs and like 6 bonus tracks, so 17 songs in total. Now if you know me, I love Sam Smith. They are one of my favorite artists, so when I heard they were gonna do a third studio album, I was really excited to see what they were going to bring to the table. Now if you watch my Ariana Grande review, which you'll see up in the top here, I broke up my review into categories, and I'll be doing the same for this album. So the first category we're going to be talking about is styles and sounds. Now as soon as you press play on Love Goes, the first track, Young, introduces you to Sam singing a cappella, and they sound amazing. It's really just Sam's voice, and there's some background vocals that are more echoed out and just kind of give some ambiance to their singing, and it is beautiful. The next batch of songs, which is about 5 songs, are all dance tracks, so they all fit more into the dance pop era, which I know Sam has always said they always wanted to make music like that. So the songs that are in this dance pop category are Diamonds, Another One, So Serious, My Oasis, and Dance. Now these songs, they're okay. I like some better than other, and the dance popness doesn't fully come through to me. Those collection of songs have like a little groove to them, but not enough to where I'd really feel like I really want to get up and dance. It's giving me real like dance pop songs that you might hear at a mall instead of like dance pop songs that you might hear at a club. I think that's why it just doesn't fully connect with me. However, the song My Oasis with Burna Boy, that is a hit. That is one of the songs that I know was previously released before this album, but I feel like no one was really talking about it. I think it's a great groove. There's like some steel pan elements into it. It has the like Afro-Caribbean beats that are going through it, but like slowed down. So it's just a really great vibe. Sam and Burna Boy really mesh well together, and I just really like this song. Once the song Dance finishes, you kind of move into a new sound, and it's more of the classic Sam kind of songs where it's just like a piano, it's a ballad, there's some strings in the background, and Sam's really just singing. Now this is the stuff that I expect them to make. This is the stuff that really drove me into loving them. So I really was excited for these next batches of songs. However, they don't quite hit the mark. This slower sound starts off with a cover of Celine Dion's For the Love That I've Lost, and now Sam sounds beautiful in this. I think this is a beautiful song. 2 other songs in this category that really kind of stand out to me was the song called Forgive Me, and then there's the title track Love Goes featuring Labyrinth that is also really beautiful. Those 3 songs I thoroughly enjoy. However, I don't think they're up to par with the rest of Sam's ballads. If I was to put all of them together, I'd probably put them towards the lower tier. For some reason, it's the production and the composition of the songs that really are just not hitting with me on the level that I expected it to. Another thing I noticed with this album is there's like a robotic reverby sound that is added in the background for some of these songs. Like I mentioned, it was in Young, and then it's in Dance, it's in the song Another One, and it's also in the song So Serious. The sound is not really overpowering, but it's something that I noticed that it was just messing with my ear. It leaned a little too heavily into like the robotic sound and not as much into like the 80s synth that I think it was trying to go for. So I'm not sure what was going on with that, but for some reason it just was not pleasing to my ear. The title track, Love Goes with Labyrinth, I think is a really beautiful song. It's definitely a newer kind of sound for Sam. I think that's in due part to Labyrinth being on this track. Both of them sound fantastic together, and the composition of this song is really, really beautiful. I just think there's some things that I think should have been tweaked. The beginning of the song has like an orchestral break, so it really starts off with like some strings and really lush sounds, and then it kind of goes into Labyrinth singing and then Sam singing, and then Sam starts singing again, and then there's like this big beat change and like breakdown to where it gets really lush, like really grand. So think maybe like the first Step Up movie where they're kind of mixing the two genres. That's kind of what this song does towards the end, which I think is really, really great. However, I feel like it should have been added a little earlier into the song instead of keeping it at the tail end. I know it's kind of building up to it, but I think it built it up a little too late. So the technical last song on this album is called Kids Again. It kind of makes the album full circle in a way, because we start off the album with the song Young and reminiscing on Sam's youth, and then we're ending the album also kind of reminiscing on Sam's youth, so it's kind of full circle in a way. Kids Again has like a Fleetwood Mac style that's kind of going on with it, but I think it's a little too overpowering because Sam's voice is like here and then the instrumental is like here, and I feel like it would have been better if it was more like here, or if this kept at the same level and they just had Sam's vocals a little bit lower, because it's just, for some reason to me, it's just a bit overpowering. And I enjoy the song, but I'm only focusing on the Fleetwood Mac style instrumentation, and I think it needed to just kind of be toned down just a smidgen. So that leads us to the bonus tracks, and like I mentioned, the bonus tracks are all songs that have been previously released before. There's two songs called Fire on Fire and Promises with Calvin Harris that were released in 2018. Dancing with a Stranger featuring Normani and How Do You Sleep all were released in 2019. And then the songs To Die For and I'm Ready featuring Demi Lovato were all released in, I think, 2020, so earlier this year. How Do You Sleep and Dancing with a Stranger with Normani, I believe, are some fantastic pop songs. Those two songs are really gained some track on radio and just in popularity overall, because those were just really good. To Die For and the song Fire on Fire for the soundtrack of Netflix's miniseries Watership Down. Both are really great Sam ballads. I think they really add a little bit of newness to his usual ballad style. And then Promises, like I said, that was released back in 2018 with Calvin Harris, and that is just a really great dance pop EDM song that, you know, you hear in the clubs and that's kind of situation. So all of the bonus tracks I think were really good. Let's move on to the vocals in this album. Vocally, I think Sam sounds fantastic. This is nothing new. Like they have previously said in an interview, they wanted this album to be more of like a pop album. So there's not really much of Sam kind of belting in this album. I feel like their voice sounds more in control and just really sounds vocally improved. Let's get into my overall thoughts of this album. I quite honestly was a little disappointed with this album. Like I said, I love Sam. I love all of their previous work from top to bottom. So for this album to come out and I was a little bit iffy on a majority of the songs, I was quite honestly disappointed. Now let me be clear, this is not a bad album at all. I think it just doesn't reach its potential that it could be. Vocally, this album is beautiful. Lyrically, I think this album is really beautiful. It's really, as Sam has said, is really much more of a breakup album. And lyrically, I think all of the songs really portray that well. The only song I'm not really too gung-ho about lyrically is the song So Serious. That to me just seems a little bit juvenile, but I like what it was trying to go for. But production wise, composition wise, everything's kind of just meh to me, I guess. I don't have any distinct feelings towards it besides just like I'm trying to figure it out myself. All of the bonus track section is my favorite part of this album, even though that's technically not a part of this album. Those 6 songs are what I imagine this album to be. Now granted, 2 of those songs came out in 2018, but How Do You Sleep, Dancing with a Stranger, To Die For, I'm Ready, all of those are the sounds that I imagine this album to be. My Oasis can be included in there. Those are the kind of sounds that I expected this album to be. But I feel like all of the rest of the songs are trying to be at that level, but they didn't quite get there. Though this album wasn't entirely my favorite, I don't see this as a flop because I really feel like come Sam's 4th album, they are really gonna bring it and really gonna reach what I think this album was trying to get at. So I'm excited for the 4th album, excited to see some live performances of Sam sing this album because like I said, they sound fantastic. So though I may not entirely love this album, I still 100% love Sam, and I'm excited for all of the things that they're going to do in the future. But my favorites off this album is Young, My Oasis, Forgive Me, and all of the bonus tracks, really. An honorable mention to Diamond and For the Love That I've Lost. Those 2 I think are really good songs too, but they're just not entirely my favorite like the rest of the songs are. Alright, well that just about wraps up my video for this week. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments down below if you like Sam Smith, what albums of theirs do you like, and if you've listened to this album and if you have the same thoughts as me or if you feel a little different about this album, let me know. You can follow me on social media at Sabrina Talks 2 on Instagram and Twitter, and then you can also follow me on TikTok at Sabrina Talks 2U. So follow me there, talk to me there. Please like this video if you enjoyed it, share this with your friends, subscribe to my channel for more album reviews and more entertainment content. Stay tuned on my channel for my next video that will be coming next week. And as always, please remember to be safe, be smart, be kind, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.